In this application problem, we will analyze negative marginal change. Marginal change is also known as slope. Read the problem first. This problem focuses on the relationship between the weight, which is the x variable, and the fuel mileage, which is the y variable of an average-size sport utility vehicle that is called SUV. A 4,000 pounds SUV has fuel mileage 25 miles per gallon. We call that MPG. The fuel mileage reduces 5 miles per gallon per 1,000 pounds added to an SUV. Identify the marginal change, write the linear equation in point-slope form, and then convert it to slope-intercept form. Analyze and graph the linear equation. All right, so the marginal change is the slope is MPG per 1,000 pounds. So the MPG, how do I get the 5? Because the problem says reduce 5 miles per gallon. And then the 1, so instead of writing 1000, I will just put 1 in 1,000. So that makes everything very convenient when you do the graphing. So instead of having 3 zeros, we will just do the 1. But we state that the pound is in 1,000. So if you write a number 2, that means 2,000 pounds. If you write a number 30, that means 30,000 pounds. So if you say the word 1,000, then you can skip the 3 zeros. Now, one thing that I want to point out immediately is the marginal change, the slope is negative. Why is this negative? Because the mileage reduces 5 miles per gallon per 1,000 pounds. It's reduced, it's not increased. So if the vehicle is very heavy, for each additional 1,000 pounds, the MPG is reduced by 5. So for every 1,000 pounds added to a car, so if a car is very heavy, then it takes a lot of gas. So to make the language very easy, then we say if the car is very heavy, so weigh many pounds, then the fuel consumption is high. Now, we use negative slope because MPG is decreasing. So first, to write the point-slope form, I need the slope. So we got the slope already. So we have slope equals to -5, which is the marginal change. And then there is a given condition, 4,000 pounds SUV has 25 mpg. So when x is equals to 4,000, the mpg is equals to 5. So x is, we call this x1 and then y1. So since the x is in 1,000, right? So the 4, we use 1,000, so we can just convert this to 4, 5. Just keep in mind that the 4 is in 1,000. So if you write 6, that means 6,000 pounds. Now, we got the slope, we got the point. Now we are ready to build the point-slope form. That is y minus y1 equals to the slope times x minus x1. So y minus 5, that is equals to slope. Oh, the slope is, the slope, wait, hold on. X minus 5, oh, that is not 5, so actually that is 25, huh? 4,000 pounds, 25, huh? I got this wrong the whole time. So this is a 25, and then let's fix the 5 to a 25. I got this wrong the whole time. Sorry about this. So let's do this again. The slope is equals to -5. The -5 comes from -5/1 mpg per 1,000 pounds added to the car. So that is stated in yellow. So that's how I got the -5. And then the 1 point that we want is 4,000 for the x. X is the weight. And then the 25 is the 25 mpg. So a car, an SUV, the SUV weighs 4,000 pounds. So I use the word 1,000 to skip the 3 0, and then the 25 is mpg. So that is the fuel consumption. So 4, 25. So we use y minus y1. So I have to fix my mistakes. The y1 is equals to 25, and then the slope is equals to -5 times x minus x1. x1 is equals to 4. And then you distribute the 5, so y minus 25 is equals to -5 times x, -5 times -4, that is equals to +20, and then y is equals to -5x plus 20 plus 25. So after all, we have y equals to -5x plus 45. So if you want to put the x and y in names, so the y is equals to mpg, so that is the miles per gallon, or you can call this fuel consumption, that is equals to -5 times x. X is the mile, right? Oh, no. X is the weight in pound, plus 45, and we know that this is a linear equation, and y equals to mx plus b. This is called slope-intercept form, because in the equation you see the slope and you see the y-intercept. So the slope is equals to -5 because the fuel consumption is decreasing. The heavy car takes more gas, so the fuel consumption is decreasing. That's why the slope, the marginal change, is negative, and then the y-intercept is 0, 45. When the weight of a vehicle is equals to 0, the fuel consumption is 45 miles per gallon. But you have to think about this. Okay, the weight of a car is 0. That doesn't make sense, right? So a car must have some weight. So if you want to say this, when the weight is equals to 0, the fuel consumption is 45 mpg, then you have to add 2 words to it. In theory, this is true. According to the linear equation, in theory, just in terms of the algebra, the theory, the mathematical concept, when the weight of a SUV is equals to 0, the fuel consumption is 45 miles per gallon. Just true in theory. All right, so you have just add 2 words to it. In theory, that is true. All right, so let's take a look at this linear equation. I want to use a table value to analyze that. The table value, I already prepared that for you. So the x is the weight in thousand. So 0 means 0,000 pounds, 1 is 1,000 pounds, 2 is 2,000 pounds, 3 is 3,000 pounds, so on and so forth. So since we say the word in thousand, then we can skip the 3 zeros. And then the y is the mpg, miles per gallon, which is called fuel consumption. That is equals to -5 times the x value plus 45. So for each row in the y, you plug in the x to the linear equation. So when x is equals to 0, 0 times -5 is 0. 0 at 45 is equals to 45. If you increase x by 1 from 0 to 1, then you have to take the 1 multiply the -5. So that means every time x increased by 1, phi, which is the slope, will be subtracted from the 45. So the 45 is like the base. When x is equals to 0, you have 45. If you increase x by 1, then phi will be subtracted from 45. If you increase x by 2, then 2 times phi equals to 10 will be subtracted from 45. That's how I got the 35. If x is equals to 3, 3 times 5, which is 15, will be subtracted from 45. That's how I got the 30. So you finish the math, and then you have all the y values. So what patterns do you see? From 45 to 40, 35, 30, 25, and 20, I can see that the decrement is 5. This is decrement, not increment, because the MPG is decreasing. The fuel consumption is decreasing. It takes more gas to run the car because the car is heavy. The fuel consumption, the MPG, is decreasing as the weight of the car increase. So if you have a big SUV, the SUV is so heavy, then the SUV will eat a lot of gas. All right? So the decrement is equals to 5 because the slope, the marginal change, is equals to -5. So if you want to plug in 0 to the linear equation, I know in real life a car cannot weigh 0 pounds, but all you have to say is in theory that is true. So when the weight increased by 1,000 pounds, the MPG decreased by 5 miles per gallon. So using this table value, using this linear equation, you can make a prediction. So what if I want to buy an SUV that weighs 7,000 pounds? Then all you have to do is you plug in 7 to the linear equation. So -5 times 7 is equals to -35. Add 45 to it, then the MPG of that super heavy SUV is 10 miles per gallon, which takes a lot of gas. All right. So if you want to buy a car that is 8,000 pounds, then 8 times 5 is equals to 40, -40, then 45 minus 40, then your extremely heavy SUV takes 5 miles per gallon, which is super thirsty. All right, so if the car is very heavy, then the MPG is very low, very bad. You have to put a lot of gas into the tank to run this car. All right, so this is the table value. Let's take a look at the graph. So the graph of this is, so the each dot stands for 1 mpg, right? So the first dot you see on the very left side of the graph, when x is equals to 0,000 pounds, the SUV consumes 45, is the mpg is 45 miles per gallon. If the car increased by 1 pound, then the fuel consumption is 40 miles per gallon. So you can see that the slope is decreasing, the line is going downhill. So that means, like, if you take a 7,000 pounds SUV, you plug it in, the MPG is equals to 10. So if the car is, so that means, in conclusion, as the weight goes up, the MPG goes down. Which means, in general language, if you purchase a very heavy car, the car will take a lot of gas. That's why you have such a low MPG. Okay, so that is the end of this video. If you think my instruction is helpful, let me know in the comment below. Like the video, share the video for me, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Appreciate your help. See you all in the next video. Signing off for now.